welcome. We're going to go live now. In a minute. All right.
Now, Behind the Law with Justin Clark and Allie Mack on ESPN 580 Orlando.
I know I'm on, Brianna. I get it. I was trying to start the clock because you make me do that myself now. It's just one more thing I have to remember to do is actually keep track of time here on this program. Hey, welcome to the show. It's Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. My name is attorney Justin Clark. If you have any questions whatsoever, the phone number here in the studio is 321-282-1055. The website, youhavepower.com. Also, don't forget to watch the show. Just follow us at Behind the Law Radio on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, any social media platform where you can watch the program right there every single afternoon. We follow our good friend and the boys down at Live Local Loud Nicky Football. Great show tonight, guys. And also, lastly, don't forget to watch the television programs this weekend and every weekend. Saturday, 12:30 p.m. on CBS, it's You Have Real Estate with me, attorney Justin Clark. And then on Sundays on TV 27 at 10 a.m., it is this show, Behind the Law on TV. 10 a.m. TV 27. Thanks for spending some time with us this evening on our favorite sports radio station. Very special show in store for you today. We're going to do the news. We'll also play Stump the Clarkie in the second half hour, and then a very special interview throughout the show, answering your questions about the whole health insurance, what I call crisis in this country. I mean, I deal with families all day long who are trying to raise a family financially, and the health insurance in this country is completely out of control. So we invited Matt Williamson from Insurance Office of America, who's a payroll expert, not payroll too, but more of a health insurance expert, to really debunk some of these myths out there about health insurance, why we're paying so much. Is Obamacare still around? I mean, I don't know the answers to this, but you don't either probably. But we're going to ask Matt Williamson about all things healthcare, health insurance related here in just a moment. But first, my good friends, the Briannas, both of them are here today. I've got OG Brianna. Hi, OG Brianna. How are you?
Hey, Justin. How's it going?
I'm well. And new Brianna, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
I feel like I'm well, thank you. I feel like I need to always describe what's really going on in this room right now and why it's such a confusing room to me and imagine to you as well as my listener. OG Brianna, and I don't even like saying OG, but I have to because I have to distinguish between you two somehow. OG Brianna has decided that she wants to leave the show because she just can't be here every single day. All right, so she was like, look, I'm going to find someone awesome to replace me to produce your radio program. I said, all right, fine. Go find me a star. And she found a star. But the star she found has the same damn name as her. So now I've got two Briannas in the same room. Now, look, they spell their names differently, but they pronounce them the same. I mean, couldn't you at least find a Brianna who spells it differently and pronounces it differently? Like, hey, can I just call you Brianna instead of Brianna?
No, I'm Brianna.
I gotta get it right.
It's shocking to me what you guys have done to me. But anyway, I love having you both here. And it's time, ladies and gentlemen, to do the news. Any news today, Brianna?
Okay, what is going on?
New Brianna.
What is going on in the news? So local news.
You thought I was talking to OG Brianna? Was that the reason for the dead air?
Yeah, it was.
Look, I don't blame you. I get it.
Okay, so if you're 21 and older, you can get a free beer from SeaWorld starting May 25th.
I'm in.
Yes.
And if you're a pass
Is it like
holder,
one of those little 10-ounce beers? Like, is that?
Oh, probably.
Yeah, probably,
Natty
yeah.
Light.
Yeah, right.
8 ounces of Natty Light. And that comes free with your $110 admission.
Absolutely. At least they could do.
Yeah.
And then we have 2 new attractions coming to Orlando in 2020.
Just what we need. More attractions.
Right?
Thank God.
Wait, is it like in a theme park attraction or where is it at?
Let's see. It just said the Orlando Slingshot and then the Orlando Drop Tower is coming.
That's over by the Orlando Eye.
2 more things I would not
You would never
chance.
do?
Of course not. You know
What?
why? Because I'm a rational human being.
Come on now.
The slingshot? Are you kidding me? Are you out of your mind? I want to keep my dinner.
We'll just do it before dinner.
No.
And then in other news, so Facebook news. So the co-founder of Facebook believes that it is now time to break up Facebook.
Okay. I guess the co-founder is no longer working at Facebook, apparently.
Well, he believes that Mark Zuckerberg has too much power,
I'm probably.
and he's not being held accountable in
Yeah.
regards to privacy concerns.
That's true.
Yeah,
I feel that way a little bit.
How many?
How do you guys feel about that since you're a Facebook user?
I just sometimes I wonder how many hoodies do you think Zuckerberg really owns? I mean, do you really think it's only a few, or do you think it's like just a closet full of hoodies? I mean, I like hoodies too, but I mean, and I understand having a look, but do you really need to wear a T-shirt and a hoodie every day? It's just annoying to me.
I just thought it was the same hoodie.
I get the whole brand. This is my brand. This is my look, but it's obnoxious. And I think, should it be broken up? I don't know. I mean, let's bring Matt Williamson on right now. First of all, Matt, how are you, buddy? Good to see you. Welcome to the program.
Doing fantastic.
And we're
Thanks
gonna
for the
talk.
opportunity.
You
to be
got
here.
it, man. And you're a friend of mine, too. It's not often I
Absolutely.
have guests on who are actually friends, so I know all your dirt. And,
Yes, you do.
yeah, don't worry. We won't get too deep into your dirt. But what do you think? I mean, Facebook, big, huge organization, but should it be broken up?
Honestly, I'm not a Facebook guy. I am a LinkedIn guy.
I know we tried to tag you for the show today.
That's right. That's right. I have a
So-
Facebook, but I don't use it often. And I'm a LinkedIn guy, though.
Are you one of these people who you just have an account so you can stalk like ex-girlfriends? No.
No, I don't even go on it.
Okay, good. You sure?
I don't even go on it at all.
Because a moment ago you said I don't go on it very often. Now
No,
it's like,
I don't go
I
on
never
it at
go
all. I have an account. I don't post pictures. I don't go on. I do nothing.
Wasn't the question.
I don't stalk anyone.
There you go. What else?
I don't want to be stalked either.
Anything else in the news today, Brianna?
I heard that there's a new proposed rule that debt collectors can now call, text, email, and private message you in regards to your debt. That's ridiculous.
It's funny you say that because I was literally just running to the show a moment ago from a meeting with a client who was saying, because she was filing bankruptcy, or about to file bankruptcy, and she said, Justin, you got to file this case for me. We do a lot of bankruptcy here. You have to file the case because they won't stop not only calling, they're texting as well. It is now legal for debt collectors to text you.
That's ridiculous.
That's harassment.
And if that's happening, please do give us a call here at the law firm. While I know we talk sports and other things on the show, I mean, I am here as well to answer legal questions for you. 321-282-1055. Plenty of information as well about debt collectors on my website, youhavepower.com. youhavepower.com. Thank you. Were you like looking for me to get a plug there? Or?
I was.
Okay,
I was
that's
looking out
pretty
for
good.
you.
That was smart. OG Brianna, did you throw that in today?
Who knows?
That's an OG Brianna move right there. I like that. Normally I go the whole show with no plug of myself, and that was perfect.
Here we are.
What else do we have?
We have sports news in the
Right.
NFL world. The Seahawks have agreed to sign Ziggy Ansah to a 1-year deal. Are you a Seahawks fan?
Absolutely not.
I'm a Russell Wilson fan.
Yeah,
I am
they-
as well.
How are you not?
I mean,
Come
I like
on.
Russell Wilson too. I don't like that he signs that new huge deal and then takes a picture to like slap us all in the face next to Sierra. Did you see
Oh,
that?
wow.
Yeah.
He announced that he signed his new $100 and whatever million contract by sending a picture of him in bed with Sierra. Sierra or Ciara? I don't know. Look, Sierra, right? But spelled with a C. So
he was working out with the Yankees earlier in the season.
Yeah, I know. He's Mr. Everything. You know,
He
he
is.
could be making millions in baseball too if he wanted to. I hate
Correct.
guys like him. But I mean, he's a nice guy. It seems like it.
Sound a little jealous, Justin.
I'll admit it. I'm a little jealous.
Jeez.
I'm here,
So we're gonna
killing
add,
myself.
We're gonna add him to your list. We have Russell Wilson, Adam Levine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
The list is building.
You don't like Adam Levine?
No, Pilar
coming.
loves him.
It's
That's
coming.
part of
He's
my
all
hatred.
right.
Part of my hatred. Pilar
all
loves him. I was thinking about this the other day too because when I was younger, I would think, it's not great to be a professional athlete because you're working every day for 6 or 7 months and you got to travel. But now that I work every day 12 months of the year, of course, I'm like, they have a great life. Are you kidding me? What a fantastic life. They get 3-4 months off. And I understand you got training camp or whatever. But literally, it's a legit 3 or 4 months they have totally off, right?
They do.
They're like, well, I got to go to the gym. Okay, dude. Well, I wish I could go to the gym. Sorry, where were we?
NFL.
Okay, go ahead. Anything else? Anything else in the news today?
That is all.
So I believe wholeheartedly that the 2 biggest financial issues we have in this country, and I tell you this all the time, are number 1, Brianna, what is it? That's not health insurance. What's number 2?
What you said? Financial issues?
Yeah.
Student loan debt?
Student loan debt and health insurance are the
Yes.
biggest financial issues that we have in this country, creating a bit of a crisis for us as human beings and consumers. We're going to address half of those. The health insurance crisis, all right on the other side of this very quick break with my good friend Matt Williamson of Insurance Offices of America. It's Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando.
Hey, did you hear about this company that's paying for Mother's Day? If you have a babysitter, they pay the first $50,000 in receipts that you send up if you have a babysitter on
Really?
Mother's Day.
Huh.
Yeah, you should Google it real quick. That's interesting.
All right.
There's a company that's paying the first $50,000 of receipts they receive for anybody in the country for Mother's Day going out. I heard on the radio the other day. That's interesting. You better say something about. Oh, well, today's only Thursday. You have the show now.
Yeah, we have a show. Yeah, come on.
I was gonna bust on Jets fans and tell them that Le'Veon Bell didn't show up for camp. Because I'm a Steeler fan.
Yeah.
So,
Were you guys surprised?
Yeah, really? He's probably coming in at 270,
Yeah.
buddy. He's down in Miami making rap
Exactly.
videos. Hey, there's stuff going on right now for student loans in the group world that you can start taking a student loan to pay back student loans through payroll.
Really?
Through payroll. We're looking into it right now. Actually, it's
Do you
funny.
know anything about it?
Yeah, I can. I mean, it's becoming a big issue. I have an email about it right here. It's called College Assist.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. All right, you guys ready?
Let's do it.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Welcome back to the show. It's Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Thanks for spending your evenings with me. I have OG Brianna to my left. New Brianna is to my right. And between them both, a good friend of mine and a health insurance specialist from Insurance Offices of America, Matt Williamson. Matt, how are you, buddy? Welcome to the show.
Doing fantastic. Appreciate to be here.
Let's talk elephant in the room before we get any further. Obamacare. Does Obamacare exist? Does it not exist? I mean, what in the world is going on out there?
Well, my preliminary thing that I do is I handle usually group benefits, and that's how we got in touch with one another. I help your employees out. But as far as Obamacare and the ACA and reporting, there are certain things that have stuck along the way, and a lot of those have to do with employers, mainly over 50 employees. But as far as what's going on with Obamacare, which is the individual market and the marketplace, what's happened is that a lot of the individual networks that folks use out there are dwindling, and it's just because providers aren't getting paid timely or whatever reason. So those are going away, and it's difficult unless you're receiving a subsidy through the government. It's not a fit for a lot of folks. So we see more so that the employers are stepping up now, especially as we know the market out there is doing fantastic, and unemployment's at all-time low. Things are really good, so we're seeing a lot of employers stepping up and contributing more, and that serves as their subsidy. So that's kind of what's taking place.
So if I'm out of work, I have no job whatsoever, do I have free health care through Obamacare still, or is that gone?
You would be able to receive a subsidy, yes.
All right. Let's say that I do have a job. What do you mean subsidy? I don't know.
A subsidy through the government based on your income levels. Based on your income levels, you'd receive a subsidy that compared to poverty. So,
But what does that mean? Does it mean I get to go to the doctor for free, or I have I just want to make sure I'm clear on this Obamacare for people who are unemployed, because I don't think I know.
well, I'm not an expert.
All
on
right,
that.
I know, but
I'm
you have
just
some
saying. But I
general
mean,
idea.
I have an idea, and what happens is you have to apply and go through the process, which is tedious. And a lot of folks don't want to go through the process. But based on your income, you could receive a subsidy that you'd receive free health care.
Okay. But let's say I do have a job. I have a job, and my employer offers health care to me, to my family, whatever, but they're not paying anything. So, but I don't have enough money. So I'm like, oh, no, I'm not going to get any of this health care. Can't I get hit on taxes or something like that, because then the government has to pay for my health care?
So that's mostly what happens is a taxation for groups that have more than 50 employees and the opportunity to become audited. And there is a taxation and a penalty. It's usually around $900 per employee if you refuse to purchase the health insurance.
So the employee pays the $900 or the employer has to pay it?
The employee would pay it.
Okay.
As long as the employer is doing the affordability through the ACA, which is I think it's 8-9%.
What is typical? And maybe there is no typical, but let's say here in Central Florida, I have a group plan. I'm an employee. So I'm looking to get health insurance for me and my wife and 2 kids. My employer is contributing $0. What am I looking at paying for sort of an average plan per month?
Well, first off, the carriers require the employer to pay 50% towards the employee cost.
Okay.
But if you were just looking from straight numbers, it all depends on the demographics. Obviously, if you have a blue-collar group and a lot of young males, your rates are going to be lower than if you have a white-collar group with a lot of older folks in it. So, it's anywhere from $1,200 to $1,800 for a family a month. I mean, it's ridiculous. There's no doubt about it. There's a crisis going on. We spend time with different local groups and try to figure out things that are outside the box, look under every rock. And there's other situations and things out there that we are privy to that a lot of agencies don't do, and we bring those to our clients. But the hard thing is, and we know that it's, we're like the Grim Reaper whenever we come into our clients, and it's difficult. I just had a group that's like 30 lives today and received a 68% increase from a carrier. Now we're going to shop that out, and, we'll find a home for it, and it's under 50. So we don't have to, relinquish whatever the numbers are, but we're able to go to market, and we do a good job. We have a lot of clients, and we're able to tout our weight around a little bit. And we have some great partners with our carriers as well.
Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando, attorney Justin Clark here. We're talking to Matt Williams. He's a health insurance expert over at Insurance Offices of America. I mean, every time you walk into a new employer, a new business, and you finally get the census, and you finally come back and give the owner or the HR person or whoever you're talking to the actual quote and the actual rates, are they always just sort of jaw dropped? Are they always saying, what in the world are you talking about?
Well, it's now so a lot of times the numbers are what the numbers are regardless of who comes in, but it's the value you bring around that with the certain attributes or depending upon the size of the group that you could bring to the table. So it's, talking about the service and how you're going to handle whether if it's a large group, if you can do some different things, we can carve out the pharmacy. The pharmacy is one of the main drivers of the cost for healthcare in this country. I mean, it's astronomical how much some of these prescriptions cost. I can give you an example. Growth hormones, they have one shot. Everybody thinks their kid's going to be 6'4", 220. Well, if they're smaller when they're younger, a shot is $22,000.
Jesus.
So one of these growth hormone shots goes on to the ticket for everybody else in the whole company, and it penalizes everybody. So being able to go in there and do some different things within and making sure that, the opioid epidemic, let's talk about that. How bad is that? I mean, this is something so serious in this country. We actually have the ability to talk with a bunch of our carriers, and, doctors aren't even the ones that are writing. It's dentists that are just as that are writing these scripts for all these folks, and they say that if you take an opioid for 7 days, you're officially addicted.
Really?
So yes, 7 straight days, you're officially addicted. So that's what we're being told. I mean, these are all hearsay, but that's what we're being told, and it's bad. We see epidemics all the time going on. You can look by the number of prescriptions. So the pharmacy is definitely, detriment to the programs if you don't get a grasp on it.
Let's explain deductibles a little bit because it gets confusing, certainly to employees in regards to deductible. So they choose a plan and it says $5,000 deductible, right? Does that literally mean that they pay the first $5,000 out of pocket for absolutely anything? So if you go to the doctor, the bill is $200, all $200 you're paying. Is that what a deductible is, or am I missing something?
No. So there's 3 words that drive the cost of healthcare. It's deductible, out-of-pocket expense, and co-insurance. So those are the 3. I mean, you have co-pays associated with all your primary stuff, but those 3 are the ones that are the drivers. And usually those come into play when you have out-of-pocket, when you have your inpatient hospital, you're obviously admitted to the hospital, or you have outpatient surgery. What happens from that point is whatever your bill is, the deductible comes off the bat right off the top. Then the co-insurance kicks in for the remaining part of the bill, whether it's 20, 30, 40%, whatever that is, until your out-of-pocket is hit. And your out-of-pocket is usually on a calendar year. And both of those, the deductible and the co-insurance, both go towards your out-of-pocket. Now, there are some good things that have come out of the reform. I mean, there's no pre-existing conditions anymore, and they've capped it out. I think it's $7,150 is the maximum that one person will pay in a calendar year. So if you go into the hospital and you're admitted, which is usually from $12,000 to $15,000 a day, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Right.
And that depends on how many tests you have done, right? So you know you're going to hit your out-of-pocket immediately. Well, you could be in there. Imagine if you have twin preemie babies, you know. So we're talking $1 million plus. You know, the most that the employee is going to pay, or the person who's in there is going to pay, is the cap, and then it goes whenever the babies are born. When they're in NICU, then it goes to the babies. But I'm just saying, I mean, there's, regardless of what that is, those are two great things that have come out of the reform.
Why don't you ask the question, Brianna? And fix his microphone, too. It's driving me nuts, please.
What is it doing?
It's tilting down. You know how I am about that. It drives me. It's not your fault, Matt.
All right.
I think Brianna is very good at fixing it.
Is that better?
That makes me
What needs
very
to be
happy.
tightened?
No, I think you're fine.
I'm definitely not going live on
Yeah.
two platforms and answering questions from people. But you know, that's
Okay.
fine. Let me
All
ask you
right.
mine.
All right. What is the question, Brianna? Real quick.
Speaking of Mike, we do
Okay.
have a listener question from
All right.
Mike.
All
And he's
right.
asked that, are there any advantages for small companies to offer health care versus letting their employees getting it on their own?
It's a good question, Mike.
That is a good question.
There is. First off, the government does not like the employer paying towards individual plans. It's actually against the rules from a compliance perspective. And anything that the employer contributes towards the medical expenses is actually a line item tax write-off from, they get credit from their accountant.
All right.
So there you go.
There are some advantages.
And the other advantage is if you have a Section 125 in place, what they call it a POP document, it allows the employee to pre-tax whatever deductions they have coming out of their check. So that's a huge benefit to the employees as well. And that's a free document. So you just need to find somebody, or, you know, the Aflacs, Colonials, and folks like that. They come in and they do a great job, and they can administer that for free.
Let's complain a little bit more about health insurance and play Stump the Clarkie with Matt Williamson from Insurance Offices of America, all right on the other side of this very short break. It's Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando.
This is better like that. That was a question somebody sent in?
That was.
That was a good question.
That was a good question. I thought so.
We didn't plant that one?
No. We have some other ones coming in as well, but we can.
Is that often?
Health insurance is always
Is
a
that,
hot button.
is
It is
that,
a hot
is that
topic.
often that people like
Yeah,
this?
and we should. If you guys want to get more questions, we should talk about the death penalty.
Oh, God.
You know, I've never had a death penalty show with you guys for sure.
You
I
want
haven't
me to
done one
have
since I was on a different
Amara
station a long
Sayala
time
on
ago.
here?
What?
Want me to have Amara Sayala on here?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. She's not gonna come on and talk about that. No way, Jose. I mean, she can, but she won't.
You're like, yeah, wait, no.
Maybe she will know. Wait, is she out of office or she's still?
You want to go over another question before we get back on? Epilepsy, and I was financially 10 years ago uninsured.
Yeah, hot for social media.
A general comment. That's what it's a question.
Well, I can address that because a lot of times they're charging cheaper for cash only. And there's a new thing called GoodRx, which is out there, and you can actually compare it to what you're doing now, and sometimes it's cheaper.
Sweet.
Cool.
All right, you guys ready?
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Welcome back to the show. Thanks for spending your evenings with me, attorney Justin Clark. It is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando, following Nicky Football live, local, loud, every single weekday. At 8 o'clock p.m., you can also watch the program at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Follow at Behind the Law Radio on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, any social media platform. You can watch us right there. Also, 2 shows on TV every single weeknight or weekend. You're making me nervous. What, you're playing with your phone over there, and I'm like getting all discombobulated. Brianna, OG Brianna. Anyway, 12:30 p.m. CBS every Saturday. It's You Have Real Estate with me, attorney Justin Clark. And then Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. on TV 27. It is this program, Behind the Law on TV. So check us out right there. To my right, it is New Brianna. Hi, New Brianna. How are you?
I'm good.
And across the desk from her, it is OG Brianna. OG Brianna, how are you?
Hey there.
So how long are you staying with the show? When are you quitting?
You know, first of all, I wouldn't call it quitting.
Well, what is it then? I mean, you're kind of leaving the show. So I mean, like, what do you call it?
I'm leaving to pursue other opportunities.
Within my law firm and
Exactly. Within your
so it's not like
own-
that's the weird thing. It's not like you're leaving the organization.
I'm
You're
not
just
leaving
like
you.
you just don't want to have to come
taking
do
it
the
so
show every
personally.
day. No, I'm really not. I just want an explanation here live on the air.
Live on the air.
That's all I want.
Okay.
Good friend joins us today. He is a health insurance specialist over at Insurance Office of America. Matt Williams. Matt, how are you, sir?
Fantastic.
Thanks. And we have a lot of questions, and we're going to get right back to health insurance and answer your questions. And by the way, if you do have questions, ask us right now. At Behind the Law Radio on Facebook is the best place to go. But before we do that, we got a little game to play. Matt, you got to play trivia against us.
All
but
right.
Here's the thing. They love to see me lose. So it's highly likely that the questions they're going to ask are something you know way more about than I do. But it is your chance to win my money or my water bottles. You ready to play?
Let's go.
All right, and now it's time for Stop the Clarky. Come on, Clarky. We need you to get over here. We got some great trivia questions we want you to answer. Come on, Clarky. Get over here.
All right, New Brianna, what is the category today?
So today's trivia is all about the insurance industry.
Hey, what do you know?
Oh, Lord.
What do you know?
I hope I get it right.
So we're going to do 4 questions. You're going to write all 4 questions down on the board in front of you, Matt, and then we'll go back and score the game. Question 1.
What is the total written net premium of the insurance industry?
Is that for 2019 or?
See?
For 2018.
See, now that you're on
For
this side,
2018.
you see what I mean? You see why I always ask you questions about the questions?
No, because you actually ask questions about things I already said because you're just ready for a fight.
So wait, this is on healthcare only, or what is
we don't
this?
know. Yeah,
Any
yeah.
insurance?
Yeah, any insurance.
I love it.
Not only healthcare.
Look
So
at
the
that.
premium for, okay.
Of all?
All right.
I think IOA has about half of that,
Yeah.
right? All right, question 2.
What is the total number of insurance companies in the U.S.?
Ooh.
I think there's 7,000 here in Orlando alone.
Feels like it.
That was the number I was thinking about.
All right, question number 3.
How many people are employed by the insurance industry in the U.S.?
Ooh.
Wow.
Look at this. I feel like that's a little high.
Think about all the insurance adjusters and things too. It's not
Right.
just insurance sales, you know. It's the claims guys. It's and gals. Question 4, New Brianna.
Oh, jeez.
How much money did insurance companies pay in premium taxes in 2018?
Taxes.
I don't even know what that is.
I feel like we all have the same look on our face.
All right, I'm in. I don't know if these are right, but these are shots in the dark.
The good thing is,
I'm
you
also
know,
just
you're not really right or wrong.
No, I know. Thank
It's
goodness.
just whoever
I'm not a
is
good test
close-
taker.
It's whoever's closest. All right, you ready to score this game, girls and boys? Let's do it. All right, let's go to question 1. You're listening to Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Justin Clark here with you. Playing Stump the Clark. You always feel free to play along at Behind the Law Radio on any social media platform. New Brianna, question 1.
What is the total written net premium of the insurance industry for 2018?
Let's go with our insurance guy and special guest, Matt Williamson of IOA Insurance. What did you say?
I said 3 trillion.
Probably not a bad guess. OG Brianna, what do you have?
I said 2 trillion.
2 trillion. Justin Clark, yours truly went with 800 billion with a B. New Brianna, what's the right answer?
1.2 trillion.
1.2 trillion. What did you have?
2 trillion.
Actually, she has 1.2 because it's 1.2.
Excuse me. I win. I had 800 billion. I'm closer. Ha.
Yeah, he is closer.
So don't be celebrating down there. Excuse me, I take the
Lord.
point on that. It's 1-0-0. Justin Clark pulls ahead after question number
That
one.
one count, it would have been perfect.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was. It looks like 1.2 right there.
Let's
You
go
should
to-
have showed him that. He would have believed it.
Probably. Question number two.
What is the total number of insurance companies in the U.S.?
OG Brianna, what did you have?
7,200.
7,200. I might have gone a little high here. I went with 42,000.
I went with 25,000.
25,000. New Brianna,
15,000.
15,000. That's Matt Williamson?
No.
Oh,
She's
seven.
That's-
Yep.
Yeah, that's
72.
right.
I'm 10
OG
over.
Brianna takes it. So
Oh.
it's going into question three. JC with 1. OG Brianna with 1. Matt Williamson trying to get on the board going into question
Lord.
3.
How many people are employed by the insurance industry in the U.S.?
I went with 2 million people. Matt Williamson.
I did 700,000.
700,000. OG.
800,000. I originally wrote down 2
800,000.
million.
What is the right answer?
2.7 million.
2.7 million. Justin Clark
Lord.
pulls ahead. 2
Jeez.
1. Your only chance, Matt, to tie me is to get this last one right on the nose, which would be good for 2 points.
There's no chance.
All right. So, question number 4 for a Stump the Clarky evening edition.
How much money did insurance companies pay in premium taxes in 2018?
Matt Williamson, you're up here on this one.
I said 1 billion.
1 billion. Pretty good guess, I think. OG?
2 million?
2 million. I think it might be a little more than that.
Maybe.
I think it might be a little more than that.
What'd you say?
I went with $2 billion. What's the right answer?
$21 billion.
21 billion.
Holy.
Out of the water.
Okay, Justin Clark
Wow.
wins again. Can you
Justin.
believe it? What is my record? Do we know?
We don't.
Oh, they're afraid to
1-0 today.
They're afraid to keep my score here.
Getting
'cause
John
it's
Hughes
too-
back on the show.
It's too good.
Okay, folks, thank you so much for being with us. Clarky, let's get out of here, buddy. My stomach thinks my throat's cut. I'm starving.
Thank you, Fulton Allen, for that. Matt Williamson is here. It's Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. All right, we have some more questions from you. I want to get to them quickly. OG Brianna, you have some questions for me, right?
You
or
know,
for
we,
Matt
we
Williamson.
didn't have a question. It was more of a statement.
Okay,
though.
give me the statement.
I can address
All right,
that
go
one.
ahead.
No, there was a woman on here who stated that she had a situation and she was paying a lot less previous years through knowing she was uninsured, and now she's paying double, and her copays have gone up, and a lot of different things. One thing that I would recommend highly is there is a card out there called GoodRx, and there's quite a few, but you can sometimes see them in the doctor's office. And even folks who do have insurance can show the GoodRx card or ask if they pay cash. And a lot of times if you pay cash, you're going to pay less. So, and if you have a health savings account, not to go down a whole nother avenue, but a lot of times this will save you out-of-pocket expense, and you can go ahead and go that route as well.
Well, let's go down that avenue, because I don't really know what a health savings account really is. I mean, help me understand what that is.
So a health savings account is it's a program that has $1. You're gonna have copay. You're gonna have, instead of having a copay of $20 or whatever to go to your primary or specialist, you're gonna pay $1 to the negotiated fee that the provider might have, which might be $78. So you'd pay that until you hit your deductible, whatever your deductible was. If it was $2,000, you'd pay $1, $78 for each time you went or towards your prescriptions, and then when you hit your deductible, you would then go to copays for your prescription. When you hit your out-of-pocket max, everything would be covered at 100%. You'd have no out-of-pocket expenses.
So whenever we do see the, when the HR guy comes around and as an employee, we're trying to figure out what plan is best, it can look like Chinese to some of us who really don't work in this industry. This plan versus that plan. What are some of the differentiators in these plans that make one better than the other?
Well, it just depends on, is the employer helping? So the other thing about a health savings account is it does have a banking opportunity. It has an banking account attached to it, so you can put funds in on a pre-tax basis into the banking account, and it serves like a 401k. So it's basically all the same laws. So it keeps rolling over, and you can use it towards medical expenses, vision or dental expenses if you choose. Otherwise, you can just let it keep rolling over. So back when these first were rolled out, they were significantly cheaper than the copay traditional plans. So what employers were doing were taking the difference difference in that and plugging it into the HSA. Well, nowadays, they're pretty much the same price. It's very, very close.
More demystifying health insurance and healthcare in general. Demystifying / complaining about health insurance. Right on the other side of this very quick break, it's Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. All right, one more segment. What do we need? What am I missing? Hitting on?
You're killing it, Brian.
Yeah, you're doing great, Matt. What are we missing? Big
You
picture.
could, if you wanna bring up about the student loans, I could talk about a couple companies on that.
Oh man.
And that's through payroll, right?
Yeah. So I mean that's one thing that a lot of people are talking about now. It's a program, but you can pay back through payroll.
Yeah.
So I don't know
That
the
at the
tax
end.
implication if it could be on a pre-tax or not, but there's a couple companies that we're looking at. Gratify, another one's called Peanut Butter. Believe it or not, that's true.
Yeah.
So, but they're both groups that can help with that.
All right, you ready?
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Welcome back to the show. One final segment ahead of Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Attorney Justin Clark here with you as we are every single weeknight on our favorite sports radio station. You can also watch us at Behind the Law Radio, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, any social media platform. I've got Matt Williamson. He is a health insurance expert with Insurance Office of America up in Longwood. That's your main office, right?
That's our headquarters
I gotcha.
nationally.
But you have offices everywhere now. This place is blowing up.
72.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's been a good run.
It's still kind of, is it like an employee-owned thing, or what's going on over there?
It's great. It was started by John and Valley Rittenauer back in the day in '88. And Heath Rittenauer is our CEO. He does a fantastic job, and we're privately held, and we'll never sell out. And we're all 1099 that produce and go out and then do sales there, which is a great environment for us. And we don't have all the layers of the onion that most folks have, and we're able to be nimble and make decisions on the fly. And I love being there. I've been there almost 15 years, and it's the hardest thing that we have to do now is trying to keep the family atmosphere and work on the culture, but I'm kind of the guy on that, and we have a good time doing it, and we have a great group of folks that work there with us.
Back to health insurance. Health insurance is completely outrageous. Now, I don't think you will even argue with me on that. It is incredibly expensive for human beings to pay health insurance for their family. You're looking at $1,200 to $1,800 a month, essentially. Is that not right?
That's correct.
Are there certain sort of hidden things within these plans, like, oh, you got a plan for $1,000 a month, but it doesn't cover pregnancy or whatever? Are there certain things that you really need to look for when you're looking at plans because they can be hidden that they don't cover?
That's on the individual market that you can carve out the pregnancy. More so, I mean, I think now they're starting to do a couple group programs, which when I say group, that's for employers, that you can carve the pregnancy out, but it's not the norm. And on an individual basis, you can carve it out, and it will save you definitely a lot of money.
So what do self-employed people really do? They don't really have employees. They might have 2 or 3. They don't have enough to where they're going to do a group plan. I mean, what is self-employed? A real estate agent, okay? What does a real estate agent do for health insurance?
Well, back a little bit ago, they tried to come out with this association plans, but a lot of the carriers just don't want to deal with it because from a billing perspective, it's very difficult because you have all these folks that are 1099 or they work for themselves and they have 2 employees or 3 employees. Well, in November, I know that they have a special program, and that's the month for those folks to get insurance on an individual basis, kind of like as a small group. Mm-hmm. So that's in November, but for the most part, it's just very difficult. And actually, I sat down with a gentleman who is 60 years old today. And before the Medicare kicks in at 65, I mean, it is astronomical, the prices of healthcare between probably 55 and 65. It's just criminal.
And that's through a group plan or what?
That's on an individual basis. The group plans help all folks that are in that range, obviously, because the law of large numbers averages it out, and so it helps out.
So let's say I have 20 employees, and I have one lawyer who works for me who's 25, and I have another lawyer who's 50. Is it all the same rates because it's a group plan, or do they vary based on age and things like that?
Well, the thing is, it all goes towards your demographics, and everything's rated that way. And it's so terrible because honestly, if you have a young male and a young female that come into your office, they're both qualified for it. If you're looking from a perspective of healthcare, if you hired the young male, your rates would go down. The young female, well, they would go up because of childbearing. Yeah, it's just how it is. And then if on that situation, all the rates aren't. They're not age banded at that size. They go to composite rate, which is regardless of your age or your gender. So that's fair for everybody in that situation.
What do you think having a baby really cost these insurance companies? Any idea? I know that's not really your thing.
No, but it's the providers. I mean, I don't think it's a ton of money for what they bill. It's just I think a lot of times with all the testing and all the just utilizing the bed and everything. I mean, I know it's about probably $12,000 to $15,000 a day to be in the hospital, but you have to remember now you can get in and have a baby and have a C-section and be out in 2 days.
Yeah. And if I go into the hospital right now and I break my leg and I have no insurance, I'm a cash pay person. They're going to charge me $10,000, let's say. But if I'm an insurance company and I have special rates or whatever, the insurance company might pay $2,000 for the same thing, right? Aren't they paying way less than what a cash-paying person would pay?
Not all the time. A lot of times, if you're a cash-paying person, the providers work out a special deal with you, and you pay less out of pocket. So I've had people that have insurance go in and say they'll pay cash, and they pay less than they would if they filed a claim.
Really? Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. You've got Justin Clark here with you. Talking to Matt Williamson, IOA Insurance. He is a health insurance specialist over there. Any ideas, Matt, what we can do? Will you admit there's like a bit of a problem in this country when we're paying $1,800 a month for health insurance?
There's no doubt.
Do you have any ideas on the future of healthcare, health insurance, what we can possibly do to make this a little bit more reasonable for the average tax-paying citizen?
Well, I know they're trying to go with the one payer, but I absolutely am not a fan of that. We need to have competition out there with the different carriers. They talked about doing some different things where other carriers could cross state lines, which means like if you had a Blue Cross of Arizona, they can come into Florida and do quotes or whatever, but that hasn't come to fruition. But we need to have competition. The absolute one payer, which is the way everything is trying to head, I am not a fan of.
I agree.
I just don't think that's the way.
I mean, I agree with you on that as well. Let me ask you another question. So I have a law firm here in Florida, right? I offer health insurance to all of my employees. Well, let's say I have an employee who's traveling to Canada, right? And they're up in Canada, they're bear hunting, whatever they do up in Canada. You know, I don't go there because obviously it's cold. I don't really have a whole lot of desire.
I don't think it's cold all the time.
Yeah, really? That's not what I heard. Regardless, they are bear hunting and they step on a bear trap, okay? And they have this big boo-boo on their leg and they have to go to the hospital. Is my health insurance here going to cover the health care up there?
Any type of a medical emergency for the programs you have here will be covered as if you're in network, no problem. But I will tell you this, talking with folks that are in the system in Canada, they have to wait 6 months a lot of times just to see a doctor.
Right.
I mean, you talk about having to get an MRI, it's 8 to 10 months. So our system might seem broken, but for the fact that we can get care when we need, timely, it might not be in the timely manner that we hope. But if you look at how other countries are and what they do, yeah, maybe it's socialized medicine, but they can't get. That's why a lot of folks from Canada come to the United States to get seen.
Let's say I have the same employee after their bear hunting trip. They decide they want to go to California and go to that. What's that event where all the kids go to? It's like some Lollapalooza type thing.
Where?
In California. You always hear about it. All the stars go to this
Coachella.
Yeah, Coachella.
And they go to Coachella, right? And
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, good. Look, me neither. I just read about it on TMZ.
I just saw this Met thing the other day when everybody's dressed like crazy. I was like, what is this thing, man?
Yeah, it's the same group of people, actually.
Yeah, I bet you.
It's just that's in New York. The other one,
Met Gala.
Coachella's in California. And they take acid or something. They have like they OD, right? And they have to go to the hospital in California. Are they still covered by their health care here?
Any emergency.
So,
yes.
Okay, but what if they have to what if they have to stay there for 2 or 3 weeks and they have to be hospitalized the whole time? Is that still considered the emergency?
Yeah. So let's give an easier example. What you're trying to ask here.
Don't
what if
try
you
to
just
make my
get
question.
sick
Okay.
and you're out of town?
All right.
Normally, what happens is sometimes we have HMOs here that are in-state only HMOs, and if you're out of state and you become ill, you're not going to be covered unless you call the number on the back of your card. They have a provider that's local. So, or what's the big thing now is telemedicine, right? So you can pull up telemedicine on your phone. It's 24/7, 365. There might be a $10 copay. That's the wave of the future now with the millennials and being able to have everything electronic. Being able to pull this information and have it at your fingertips is what everybody wants.
Unbelievable. All right, so let's talk about rehab, mental health. Are all of those sort of things included on any sort of group health plan?
They are, and it's usually up to 30 visits per person.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So rehab, mental health, all those situations. There's usually a limit, and if you'd like an extension, you have to appeal it and apply for it. So it can get cumbersome.
Last question. So let's say that I've already sort of diagnosed myself, and I know I need to go to this specialist, right? Because I've been on WebMD. Do I need to go to a PCP to get a referral, or do I go right to the specialist?
Well, that's the old school HMO mentality, but nowadays they use the term HMO, but it really means in-network only, and the HMO is just from the state filings that they go through with the insurance carriers. So it's not that old school mentality anymore. There might be some gatekeepers that a lot of folks will put on just for like a 4% break in the rate, but honestly, that's so old school.
If you're an employer, you have employees, and you really want to shop your rates around, I want you to give Matt Williamson a call. He's with Insurance Offices of America. Matt, how do they reach out?
You can call me directly at 407-998-5585, or my email is Matthew@IOAUSA.com @IOAUSA.com.
Got it. Give him a call. OG Brianna, let's save this show in case I'm out of town. I think this is a good one to play again someday for
I
a
love
best
it.
of. What do you think?
Definitely.
For OG Brianna, Matt Williamson, great job today. Good to see you, buddy.
Appreciate
New
it.
Brianna, I don't know much, but I do know one little thing.
What is that?
I will see you right back here tomorrow night on ESPN 580 Orlando.
That's good.
Right.
Hey, can you take a picture of
We're
my
going
kids?
to.